Governor Thuge to democratize that space. And I have seen how we lock out many people sometimes by working with big numbers. And let me give you an example. Just in the city of Nairobi, we have 2.1 million people who have borrowed from the Hustler Fund. 2.1 million people. And in Nairobi alone, we have lent something like 5.7 billion to very small people in Nairobi alone. Nationally, we've lent about 35 billion in a record 8-9 months, right? So if anybody underestimated the people in the small economy, as you may want to call it, you have to think again. And we have about 7 million people regular borrowing and paying in that space. We need to open up space for those people who are borrowing to also buy government paper. I don't know whether we still call it government paper now, or the paper is out, you know. So to buy government security, right? So and I have one other reason why I am pushing for these people. It is completely undemocratic for us who are in this space that one person has the opportunity to buy and to get 10% as they invest, and then another person can only invest and get 2%, because that's what majority of the people with 5,000, 10,000 get 2-3% from their savings. And yet, in the same space, we have those of us who have a bit more money, and we are getting 10-12% from government security. I think we need to make it possible for even the person who is currently being paid 2-3% to also move their fortunes to the space of 9-10%. I think it's only fair. And it's not too much to ask, is it? I don't think so. So again, that's the reason why I think we need to democratize that space. And finally, one more feedback. And I hope I'm not going to torpedo the whole thing. It's only that I have to speak to the people who cannot make it to this forum. You know, there are so many people who cannot make it here, but they have hired me. So I am here to represent them. You know, many of them cannot come past the watchman at the gate. So we also need to, you need to think about the redemption mechanism. You know, I know we have the journey on how you can redeem your investment in this space. You need to democratize that also, so that the smaller investors in that space can have much more flexible terms of redeeming their investment without the challenge that we experienced initially with Emma Kiba, that some of the people who invested in Emma Kiba ended up with, whenever they made certain decisions, they got less money than they had invested. We need to avoid that kind of thing. So we have to think, and I'm happy that Luz and team have told us that they are seized of that particular reality, and they are going to make some provisions or some decisions on making sure that that happens, and that we can carry as many people as possible along. It is the journey that we have undertaken that we need to democratize opportunity, whether it is employment, whether it is business, whether it is access to credit, whether it is access to being able to participate in government securities. We must be as inclusive as is practically possible, because that is the only way we can move together, and we can leverage on all our capacities, and we can leverage on every citizen of the Republic of Kenya to participate in baking a bigger cake for us to be able to enjoy together. Finally, let me undertake that we will continue to work with all the agencies in this financial space to make sure that we do not slip into spaces that will not add value to our progress. We will continue to do what we must do to keep inflation in check, to deploy whatever resources we can to make sure that we manage the cost of living, we manage the cost of food, and I am very happy that the interventions we have put in place are actually responding. We had an inflation rate of about 9.3 or thereabout. It's now down to 6.7. It is our intention to continue doing the interventions that will continue to take it down so that it is in line with our commitments, both to our budget and also all the other spaces that are there. And we will continue to make the right decisions, and we are leveraging on technology. Maybe just to give you an idea, is that we leveraged on technology to give us the data on farmers. For the first time, we distributed fertilizer using technology. Every farmer was on a technology platform to be able to access their fertilizer, and it has helped us to make it efficient, to eliminate brokers, to remove crooks, to remove middlemen that were creating unnecessary confusion, and that is why we have been able to manage the cost of fertilizer that is come down significantly from 6,000 plus to now about 2,500. I want to commit that we shall continue in making sure that there are interventions that would help us in that space. Never mind the chronic propagandists and those people who believe in voodoo, because they are telling us that, I don't know, there was some 30,000 tons of, fertilizer from where. I want to tell you, we have deployed about 280,000 tons of fertilizer, about 4.5 million bags by now. And prudently, using data, using technology, we have delivered fertilizer efficiently. And we have used science. We did a survey of all our soils, and we have distributed fertilizer that is scientifically tailored for all the soils in the various regions and for the different groups in the different regions, using science, not voodoo. So those who are telling us that we have sold, sand, or is it soils? I don't know, they have sold what? It's because they believe in voodoo, we believe in science. There are two different areas. And we will continue to make sure that we use data, we use technology, we use science to continue to deal with the challenges of making sure that we manage inflation. I am very proud that we are moving in this direction, and Governor, I encourage you and your team. You have our support, And the feedback I have given you, I will come back in a month. I have an undertaking from Lusa. Where is he? I thought I saw him here. I have an undertaking from that man there that you will incorporate the feedback I have given you from the hustlers so that they too can participate in this very important exercise, and they can make their contribution and enjoy the benefits that come from trading and doing business with the government of Kenya, especially in this securities space.